I'm recording it. Wait.
Hi.
Is it working?
It's working. There's a little camera button that's recording at the top. Hi, YouTube.
Cool. Yeah, it's like people do mock presentations. It's YouTube sensation of the year.
Okay.
Oh God, wait, fuck, where'd you guys go? Sorry, hang on. There we go. I'm so bad at working technology, I should be better, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm probably gonna be flipping between this and another article I have pulled up. So I'll present and then exit. I know it won't be the cleanest thing, but
I feel like I'm about to learn a lot.
I'll do the best I can with what I know. But okay, so
This is triggering something inside of me.
Oh my God, I know
Here we
what that
go.
is. Wow.
yeah, I decided to put a lot of Chicago pictures in here, just
Represent. I like it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about mass transit and emissions reductions in urban areas. And before we begin, I think I should say why it's kind of important with global warming, progressing faster and faster every year. It seems like it's important to find ways in order to cut carbon emissions, and like economic centers like cities and factory districts are kind of where the bulk of the carbon emissions comes from. So it's important to try and move as many people with as little environmental impact as possible, and that's why we need more mass transit. So here we go. So what I have here is a map that depicts what people use in order to go to work. And as you can see, that green color is actually people driving alone. And as you can see, that's basically the whole US, which means, relatively speaking, no one is taking mass transit and everyone is driving, relatively speaking, which is really not good if we want to cut our carbon emissions. So you can see here that this little district here is basically Manhattan, and even then, what you see showing up is carpool, not even public transit. So basically, the United States is a very car-centered country, and that needs to be adjusted because cars take up a lot of space and produce a lot of emissions, and it's really not efficient when you think about the amount of energy it takes to move one person. Okay, so, and here they made us make a graph for this thing, but here I show the amount of CO2 that is emitted by each transportation mode to move one person. Okay, so you can see up here that cars are here. Light rail, commuter rail, and trolley bus are three of the cleaner options. And you can see how buses produce the most here. However, I found this statistic to be kind of misleading, because when they factored in the motor bus, it was one bus that was being counted, but they're neglecting the fact that one bus can fit like 180 people in it. So individually, unit-wise, the bus is a lot less polluting than the passenger vehicle. So it would be down here. It's just the way they presented that statistic. But you can see that all these forms of transportation emit a lot less emissions to move people. And keep in mind that the statistic for the passenger vehicle is just one vehicle with one person. Think of how many vehicles we have on our, expressways, how tough it is to get in and out of work. I know I personally hate driving on 290 because it's just gridlock. Trying to get into Chicago is a mess. So now take this half pound of CO2 per mile and multiply it by the millions and millions and millions and millions of drivers that are taking to the roads every day. It's a massive amount of emissions. But if you take, say, 100 people and jam them onto a light rail vehicle, that is one singular light rail vehicle only putting out 0.35 pounds of carbon. So that same vehicle is moving, 180 plus people, whereas one singular passenger vehicle moving one person is already putting out more emissions than that whole thing together, So passenger cars are very, very inefficient. And here's kind of an image to realize the amount of space it takes to move those same amount of people. So you could see that this is what 180 people look like driving, and you could see how much space their cars take up. Then here we go, we've got the same number of people crammed on a bus, and you can see how much less space there is. So this same vehicle, which puts out less emissions, is able to move all these people with much less space than everyone's individual passenger vehicle. And so what I have here, so in order to realize maximum emission reductions, people need to make the switch to mass transit, because half the reason carbon output for vehicles is so high is because how bad traffic is. You're just sitting there idling, burning fuel, So it's putting a lot of unnecessary carbon in the atmosphere. So if we cut down on the amount of people driving, that's less traffic, less waiting, less delay, less emissions. So hopefully that train of thought can be followed. But so here we have just another picture. Switching to mass transit will provide additional environmental benefits. Let's say, like, it's kind of a joke with some of the transportation planners, because their kind of go-to saying is just ban cars, just ban them. All cars are bad, it's just like ban. But they do have a point to that. Think of how much space 290 takes up. Think of how much space all those interchanges take up. All that infrastructure spread out over miles and miles and miles to accommodate car traffic, when a 2-track rail corridor like the L only takes up 1 street width of space. So by recouping that space, there could be more green areas, more walkable areas for pedestrians, a lot of more city land reclaimed for the people, and not just people idling in their cars, backed up in traffic. So not only is it cutting back on carbon emissions, but it can allow for more environmental rejuvenation projects, putting more grass down, more trees down, and kind of expanding the amount of nature land that they have in city centers. But oh wow, yeah, I should have maybe looked through this. Let me go find this. Let me pull up that other thing. Okay, hang on 1 second. There's one. Oh yeah, where did we go? Okay. Oh yeah, and then this chart from the Department of Transportation basically shows how big the pie of carbon emissions is for transportation. So if you can cut all these cars and maybe switch to electronic trucks and get more people on the rails and the light rail on the buses, you can see how much emissions can actually be reduced nationwide to help curb our carbon footprint. So basically, transit actually is one of the easier places to start, because you can imagine how tough it would be to rip out all of our, coal generation plants, natural gas generation plants, how long that would take. But, it only takes, well, I know this might sound like a long time because of all the red tape you have to go through, but, you could get a new transit corridor done in 10 years feasibly, and that's a lot less time than replacing the nation's entire energy grid and switching to renewables. That's more like a half a century long process. So transportation is a good place to start to cut those carbon emissions. But here we go. Last slide in a very prepared presentation, but mass transit's an easy, accessible, and proven way to reduce emissions in urban regions. And so basically, it's one of the easier ways we can curb our carbon emissions. It's able to move a lot more people in a lot less space, while also putting a lot less carbon into the atmosphere. And that is why we should be building more mass transit corridors. And hopefully we do, because it's the easiest way to cut our carbon emissions. So yay, there we go.
All right,
Zero planning, that's done. Okay, good.
Let's ban
Yay!
cars right now.
Ban cars. All cars are bad. Cut it out.
I live in the country, but we'll find a way.
Yeah, that's the sucky thing about Iowa. There's no train service. There's no nothing. It's like one station in Iowa for Amtrak. I'm like, bruh. They were supposed to actually have a train from Chicago to Iowa City by 2015, but Illinois pulled out when the government switched sides, and they canceled the money for that. So now, unfortunately, there is no train to Iowa City, because that's how I would get freaking home every single time.
That's how I get to Chicago, to the Amtrak.
Oh yeah, no, we need more train service. It's unbelievable.
Take matcha.
I'd much rather take a train than fly, to be honest.
I like flying. It's fun, but.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. But I see what you mean.
Yeah. It'll be nice when O'Hare's all renovated in 8 years, though. That'll be pretty fun.
Dude, it was crazy going in there during like COVID. Eleny,
Oh, yeah?
Courtney, and I went there to drop Jen off, and it was just like empty. We like walked in. We're like, where the fuck are we? We thought we weren't allowed to be in like this one section, and then we found an employee who just like stared at us, right? And we're like, okay, he didn't say anything, so we're fine, I guess.
Yeah, that's got to be really concerning just because, like, I'm used to going through O'Hare just when it's chock full train wreck. Like, when I had to go to DC a year ago, it's just like, oh my God.
Mm-mm. I didn't know there was a dinosaur skeleton there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I
just
think that's.
fucking field museum gift shop in there too, and I'm like, what the fuck? We're not even in the city.
Great way to steal a bone.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Right across from Starbucks.
Oh, yeah. I
Going
can't
to
remember if
DC.
that's the United Gates or American Gates. What did Jen fly out on?
United. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Thanks, Eleny. I see.
And you guys, and that explains why you guys went through the under runway connector there to the satellite concourse. Yeah. The thing with all the rainbow lights on the ceiling.
No, we were just going there to see it.
Okay. Okay.
Her aunt
Gotcha.
was like, have you guys ever seen this like rainbow underground section? And we're like, no. But
It's gonna get better. Once they put 2 more satellite concourses in there, there has to be more of those, light show walkway things they're gonna build once they put 2 new satellite concourses out there. So
I hope they have like a piano one where you can like step on it and then it lights up and makes noises.
wait, do you guys want to see the rendering for the new O'Hare stuff? It'll take like 5 seconds.
Yeah. How do you have that?
Okay. Just because I'm geeky and I look at all the major infrastructure projects going on. So I literally look at that stuff for fun.
Oh.
That's a different view.
Yeah. Yep. So they're going to basically be tearing down an entire O'Hare terminal. And they're building a whole new international terminal as well. So like, this is that satellite concourse you get to. That's the one that you fly out of that's there currently. But you can see they're expanding it and extending it back further.
Huh.
They're expanding Terminal 5, which is kind of like that standalone one that kind of sits off to the side. It's that all-white terminal that kind of just sits there.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the international flights come in. But here's the holistic plan. You can see what they're doing. So this will be brand new, and then 2 new satellites, and then they didn't put the other rendering in there. But it's the largest expansion they've ever done. So I'm super excited to see it.
That's really cool. I hope. Well, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, it's like a 10 years?
8 years from now it'll be done. They've already started. So.
Okay. Natalie, rock paper scissors.
Yeah, sure.
Rock paper scissors
Shoot.
Rock paper scissors shoot. Rock paper scissors shoot. Yo.
What?
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
So I get to go. So I won, so I have to go.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you're ready to laugh because I don't think there could be a more comedic difference in tone from yours to mine.
I like it. I'm ready.
Space boy over here.
Okay, this is a presentation as to why James is a better Pokemon trainer than Ash and should have been the main character.
Oh my God.
I just had to unmute myself just to chime in that I'm loving this.
I'm ready.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna convince you so hard.
I was not expecting.
So, to start off, so character backstories. We all know the more tragic the backstory, the better the character, because character growth and stuff like that. Are we right? I'm right. Anyway. So, James, his parents were millionaires that controlled his every move as a child, was forced into an engagement with a mean little girl named Jezebel, which is a super triggering name, was forced
I don't like that.
out at home, he ran away, failed at a Pokemon tech, joined a biker gang, and then his parents faked their death in an attempt to trap him at home. Meanwhile, Ash is an absent dad, but who doesn't? And don't we all have daddy issues? So he isn't special. And he didn't win the Pokemon Championship once, and he got a little depressed about it for like 2 episodes.
I'm shook.
their Pokemon. James, for most of his Pokemon, came to him and asked to be his Pokemon, with the exclusion of Victorabelle. His Pokemon continually hug and chomp on him in loving ways, and James never complains, i.e. Cactina would hug his neck, and Chimecho would blind him with his tail, as you can see by my beautiful pictures. And he never has to use a Pokédex because he still knows all the Pokemon. Not that he could have a Pokédex because he is a criminal, but we will get to that. Meanwhile, Ash had to battle to get all of his Pokemon. Some of his Pokemon maliciously attack him, i.e. Pikachu and Charmeleon/Charizard. He doesn't know shit about Pokemon, despite being an avid Pokemon fan. We see at the beginning of the series, the very first scene is him watching a Pokemon battle on TV, and yet he doesn't know anything about type advantage. As we can see, his ass gets kicked from Univa and back constantly because he makes the wrong decision. I mean, think about at least the first season, where he goes to every single gym and tries to attack with Pikachu, and Pikachu loses every single time, and then he has to go back after he either trains Pikachu up to the point he can beat a type advantage, or he finally gets smart and learns to catch a different Pokemon. Right?
Oh my god, Natalie. This is so
I'm not
detailed.
wrong, and you can't prove me wrong.
You're not,
they gotta
which
make
makes
this like a
it
class
funny.
or something and have you run it.
Please.
This would be a fun class.
I'm not done. There's more. Anyway. Okay. Facts that can easily discern that James is a better person. 1, he collects bottle caps, but gets rid of them to protect his friends by making a fake payday attack, because Meowth never learned payday, because instead he learned how to talk. So he got rid of all of his bottle caps in an attempt to save his friends, his prized bottle caps. He's a fabulous cross-dresser. No one can say he isn't. He fools Ash at every turn with his disguises. He literally saves Jessie and Meowth all the time. His outfits are amazing. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate that fact, but it's true. Also, he's 25, which makes him legal to drool over, although there are some discrepancies with his age, but we will go by Bulbapedia. He is soulmates with Jessie, not necessarily in a romantic sense. What, Mom?
Your mom came in?
He is soulmates with Jessie. Not that, we have to be romantic soulmates. We can mean, best friend soulmates, too. But, you choose your way. He's never actually evil and does the right thing when it counts. He's never actually stolen a Pokemon. He's never actually been able to do it. And in one of the Pokemon movies, all the trainers are put into a red goop that kills them. And I was in middle school when it came out, and I cried in my kitchen alone. Anyway, well, Jessie and James in their final moments release all their Pokemons to get away from the goop while they drowned to death.
Wait.
So obviously, good person.
Wait.
Also, look at that Moltres outfit. Look at it. Look at it very hard. Look at all of his outfits.
Oh my gosh.
That's right, bitch. Slide 2. We're not done.
Oh my god.
Things that happened. So, James and company have gone against Team Rocket hundreds of times when they knew that Team Rocket was doing wrong. Take, for instance, the episode where they are, Team Rocket, Pokemon poachers going after the Coughings and Ekans herds. James and Jessie released their starter Pokemon, which were now, of course, a Weezing and Arbok, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
So they're now a Weezing and Arbok, so older than the herds. And they release their starter Pokemon and tearfully command them to leave and take their herds somewhere safe while they distract the Pokemon poacher. Bye Bye Butterfree is not the most emotional episode. I don't even know how to explain that because it's not. Anyway, James and Jessie use their bare hands to hold back the Pokemon poachers while the herds escape and are viciously attacked and had to be sent to the hospital.
No.
Next, let's look at the side characters. So, Jessie. She is infinitely more interesting than anyone Ash has been friends with. She grew up so poor she had to eat snow. Her mom was a top Team Rocket agent, but went missing, which could lead to so many interesting plot lines. She failed 2 different schooling systems, that being, of course, Pokemon Tech, which James also failed at, and she tried to go to Pokemon school to be a nurse. But it was Pokemon school, so she failed, obviously. She was also in a biker gang, same backer game as James, but somehow they did not realize they were one another when they met for the first time later. In fact, they didn't like each other when they first met up, but they soon became best friends. As I said earlier, soulmates. Anyway, has a mysterious past in the Honan region that's only been hinted at a few times. She's been both a weather girl and a ninja, but also a model. I didn't write that down for some reason. Anyway, she's had a series of bad boyfriends, bad being in suspicious terms, and she's also a snatch dresser. Look at some of her outfits from the previous slides. Anywho, Ash's friends. Doesn't really matter what I put here. They're all the same. They all have an inherent ability with one Pokemon type and form a good bond with Ash and are in some way trying to prove themselves, and then Ash separates with them. But then Ash, James, and Jessie have always been friends throughout the entire series. All of his friends have been useless. None of them are good Pokemon trainers. We all know you can't just have one Pokemon type and succeed in the championships. By the way, not to mention it, but like I said earlier, Ash lost the championship. James has won 2 championships. I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, let's continue. Downsides to James. He's not very smart. But he makes up for it in heart and still manages to trick Ash all the time. So, don't know where that leads it. Okay, let's talk about shipping.
Oh, no.
Shipping children is inherently toxic for many reasons, especially 10-year-olds. So instead, let's all ship Jessie and James together. Also, rocket shipping is a dope-ass ship name. Okay, next. Could Jessie also be a rad main character instead of James, so being more interesting than Ash? Yes, sign me up, but one battle at a time, and we're looking at James right now. Am I saying we need an adult Pokemon series that focuses on Jessie and James as they fall in love and traverse into the dark side of the Pokemon world? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Have I been thinking about this all day instead of watching my nephews, which is my job? Also, yes. In conclusion, James is a more caring, informational, and actively interesting character than Ash and was done dirty by the creators of the Pokemon series. My name is Natalie Jacoby, and this has been your TED Talk.
So approved. Good. I love that. That was great.
I agree. I loved it. That was great. Also, I have a destroyed shark now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was so good.
I love it. That looks great.
That was so good. I'm still shaking by the...
So, my point is, do you guys agree with me?
Yo, wait, when did James win 2 championships?
It happens throughout the series. Of course, Ash has now won more too, but James has also won 2 championships. You see, Jessie and him both have their strengths. Jessie is, of course, phenomenal at contests and doing all of the prissy stuff and those Pokemon battles and whatever. But James, however, has won 2 championships on his own. He's lasted longer in those championships than Jessie, proving he's a better Pokemon trainer than Jessie. At the very least, we can assure you of that. But his Pokemon type is grass and poisonous. That seems to be his favorite type value. So, there's a lot of disadvantages to that, obviously. But just think of his tragic backstory. He obviously deserves his own series.
We just heard a presentation over how James is better than Ash as a main character in Pokemon, which I agree actually wholeheartedly. Also, James is so nice to his Pokemon. It's
so nice. He gets all of his Pokemon. He's a good person.
I left my project at home.
When one of his Pokemon got sick, he stayed by its bedside the entire time, all throughout the night.
You're gonna make me cry, Sus. You're gonna make me cry. You need to send that to the company or something. Be like, hey, let me pitch you an idea.
We need
Oh yeah.
You're just outer space. That's
it's so weird. Wait. It's been filtering out everything.
What's the Team Rocket catchphrase? Does that work?
To unite all people within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to expand our reach to the stars above. Jessie, James, Team Rocket, blasting off to the stars of light. Get ready now because we're ready to fight.
Natalie, you should send that to Sydney, because I'm not even kidding. She lose her fucking mind.
Oh yeah, I think
Guarantee. And then you two would just be having a hot discussion every day about the possibilities. Okay. Hey, can you see? Can you see?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Michelle, I love you so much.
Listen.
Let's hear
There's
it.
a reason. How do I?
Is it the fanfic?
I'm gonna bring it up. It's not in the slide, but I'm gonna bring it up. How do I fucking present? I feel so old. Wait.
Love
Okay.
this though. So
This one?
Villain Deku. My Villain Deku.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey guys, welcome to today's meeting. So, Alex, have you watched My Hero Academia? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I will do my best, not knowing much.
Okay, I'll explain it. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, let's start off with some background.
Damn.
This dude named Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, right? High school student. He's attending UA, which is like a high school for aspiring heroes, right? His backstory, he grew up quirkless, which means he didn't have any powers, right? In a whole society universe that has powers. So he was bullied because he wanted to be a hero, but he can't because you don't have a quirk. It's quirkist.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very quirkist.
I'm using that word from now on.
Yeah. Okay, but he finally gained a quirk by eating a dude's hair. We'll get into it later. He's super smart, probably knows every superhero's / supervillain's weaknesses, right?
Okay.
He's very anal about it. His hobbies include note-taking, worrying, and cleaning his All Might action figures. We stand. So, there is this, like, dude named All Might. He's like the most powerful hero in the whole, like, I think all of Japan or the world. I don't know. He's like the best. The world. Okay. So, this dude, the blonde dude, was like, hey, you can't be a hero because you're quirkless, right? He's a quirkist. You don't bring it up in the anime, but he is, right? But then he realized he was hella wrong because he was like, oh, I'm kind of dying, but I need a successor. So he made him eat like a strand of his hair to get his powers, right? Before that, he made him clean up this entire beach. He's like, hey, your body's not going to be able to stand it. Clean this beach up. There's like refrigerators. This junior high kid is like moving refrigerators in his free time. His mom doesn't know anything. She can't just be like, hey mom, I met this dude who's like the number one superhero. He said I have to eat his hair, but before that I have to clean a beach. Complicated. So All Might is like, yeah, I need a successor, so you'll be it, right?
Okay.
So he goes from a bullied, quirkless kid to the successor of the number one hero. I love these images. I thank Pinterest. Not sponsored.
I love it.
So as much as we love Hero Deku, as he aspires to be the number one hero in Japan, we love a good villain.
Okay.
Okay, reason why he'd be a good villain. He's smart as hell, right? Even without a quirk. Quirk does nothing for his, like, brains. He's constantly analyzing himself and others. Literally, when he fights, he's just, like, doing all these calculations, like, 5% power, like, maybe I should do this and that. It's fucking crazy, right? He knows, literally, every superhero's quirk, their advantages and disadvantages, so he can easily be like, I could just kill you. I could come up with a plan and kill you, which leads into this other thing. So I found a fanfic that I sent to Natalie. It is so good. Eleny, there's a fanfic. I'm going to send it to you. Basically, this fanfic is if he never got a quirk, right? And he never went to UA, but he's just like, I need to make it in this world. And he just starts, like, he's known as the mastermind. He starts coming up with plans to help villains.
I've read it already. I've read Mastermind already. I think, yeah, I have.
He like helps
No,
people.
I haven't finished it. I'm on it right now because I just finished.
So if he didn't have the quirk, he'd probably work on like tactics or something like in that fanfic, or lose his shit. I don't know. I like to think of him as a tactician. Maybe I'll write a fan fiction about that. I really want to write a fan fiction. All for one's power. Wait, is it one for all? So, there's literally a storyline, not a storyline, a history. So, it started off with this one person who like had this like really big power, right? And then they all have to find like a successor because you only want to trust certain people to know the secret. So right now, Deku is the only one that knows about how this is passed on and that he has the power. He could easily just turn evil and take advantage of this power because it
He's
would
not
be.
the only one.
What do you mean?
Gran Torino knows. So does the detective. So
About the
does
hair?
Deku. So.
Oh wait, yeah. Is it just the hair?
Well, no, it had to be any part of All Might, which begs the question.
No, we're not talking about that. He's a middle school.
No, but like, is All Might a virgin?
Like, everyone's like, what the fuck? How did you get a quirk? You were quirkless, right? No one knows that he got the quirk from All Might. It's kind of like, oh, he's a late bloomer. They just play it up. But it'd be so fucking ironic if he just took his power and just fucking ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Third, we have Stain, aka the hero killer. There are so many like ways that I could go with this, but I'll just start this off. So this dude, he kills fake heroes, people that he deems as like unworthy, which is a lot of heroes. He only likes All Might because he thinks that All Might is like the best hero. Mm-hmm. So in this one episode, Deku was like about to get taken by this like League of Villains, but then Stain was like, fuck that, I like this kid, he pretty cool. So he goes and rescues him, right? So he recognized him as a hero. But heroes are not that good because they're greedy, they abusive, Endeavor's a dick, screw him, we don't stain the man. And then, so from this we can be like, well, what does it mean to be a hero then? Like, do they have to be a hero? Or can they be like a vigilante who helps society? Or can they be a villain, helps cleanse society? So I'm thinking that maybe if Deku decides to go villain, he'd have this like mindset of like, I need to clean society up from their like their quirkiest ways. He's like literally
an ad for your fan fiction.
Yes. This entire PowerPoint. Please read my fan fiction in the future. Plus he's hot as fuck. If he's like, Eleny, look. So this is villain Deku, who's pretty damn hot. Mm-hmm. You can see Eleny just had a heart attack. Mm-hmm.
He's 15.
Yeah.
Shut up. He'll grow into it. I didn't say now. The one on the bottom right, the black and white, he could be like, 21. We don't know. I think maybe the middle one, probably like 17, maybe 15. Mm-hmm. The one on the left, legal, hopefully. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I love the last line being legal, hopefully. That is amazing.
I hope. And that was my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you for joining me.
We appreciate.
One second, please. 1 second.
You're fine.
You're good.
Take your time. Make it slower. They broke the string off of the piñata, so we can't get it up on there.
Oh no.
Oh.
I know. I mean, it's kind of my fault. I'm the one who filled that piñata. It was for Michelle Gonzalez's 21st. It's filled with a bunch of like shooters, like little one-shot things, and then a Capri Suns and like money in there.
Oh, that's a great mix. I like that.
Yeah, but I think I put too much because it's heavy now.
Oof.
But right now we're making a noose around the neck. Oh, horrible. No, but okay, wait. I know Michelle's seen like Boku no Hero somewhat. Alex, you said you don't really know too much. Natalie,
I don't know much.
I've seen all that's out, and I know a little bit here and there from the manga, but like I'm not up to date.
Okay, I'm not completely up to date, but I'm completely obsessed with all the fanfics, which basically means like I have a rough idea of what happens in all the seasons because I love to spoil it for myself. But villain Dekus are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you discussing your PowerPoint, Michelle?
I'll send it over.
No.
Wouldn't it be good?
One where he's not quite fully villain, but he doesn't go like the hero route. It's not vigilante. I don't know how to describe it.
The judge. I don't know.
Have you seen Yuts? Have you read Yuts?
No, send it to me.
Yesterday Under the Stairs is one of the if you haven't heard of that one, you've not even delved into like any villain like or Deku like kind of like themed stories.
Send it to the group chat. Natalie's taking notes.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No, it's so high rank that, oh my god, it's such an amazing story. It is, the author writing phenomenal. The story, the plot, it's so rich. I love it. It's not fully a villain Deku AU, but it's still within the realm of like Deku fan fiction, and it's just it's so amazing. Oh my god, I'm just getting so excited just thinking about it. But yeah, the one that Michelle mentioned, the one Mastermind, I'm reading it currently. I'm still just starting it, but instantly when you said that title, I knew right away because the description, it hooked me. Just reading the description of it itself was like really good. And I was like, okay, I can dig with this.
Literally, I found it yesterday. I was reading it and then I sent it to Natalie.
I thought
Natalie and I both finished it in one day.
It took 5 hours, but I finished it.
Oh, God. Oh, is this still recording? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
You can rewatch my discussion on James being the better character as many times as you want.
Not even kidding. You need to send that to Sydney. I'm like,
yeah, she'd love.
Yeah, Alex, tell her.
I think on a scale of 1 to 10, she'd love it infinity out of 10. Like I think that would make her century.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a good idea to forward that on.
I'll text the group chat. Be like, hey, Sydney, we got some surprises for you.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who else reads fan fiction, but
me.
The way you responded.
I'm writing a fan fiction right now.
Really? What is your fan fiction you're writing about?
I've been making Michelle read it in small bursts.
It's so good.
It's an OC. I only make OCs. I'm not very good at rewriting stories by myself.
Yeah, no. I kind of get that.
A girl attempting to marry into the Ida family through Tensei, and she's in love with him, but the family doesn't like her because she's not rich, and so she's just trying to finagle her way. I think I'm like 3 chapters and 50 pages done.
50 pages and only in 3
nice.
chapters. That's good chunky writer.
That's dedication. That's good.
Tell her your Naruto one.
No!
How long that is.
Yes! Wait, I need to know!
She loves it. Eleny fucking loves Naruto.
I love Naruto. I love all kind of anime fan fiction. Like, you don't understand. I'm just the worst and terrible person. Like, I'm just human trash, but it's okay because I got fan fiction.
I started writing a Naruto fanfic when I was 16 years old. I update it on occasion. I've especially been going through the old chapters because the grammar is really bad and
Mood.
Just the storyline needs some freshening up here and there.
Have you posted it?
Oh yeah. Well, it's an OC one, but I have to very shamefully say that it is 161,000 words long, which is longer than any Harry Potter novel.
I love it! Yes!
Reincarnation story of a girl being transported into the Naruto world. However, she doesn't necessarily realize that because when she's born, she's sort of born with 2-ish souls inside of her, where she just calls the other one her conscious.
It's kind of sound familiar, not gonna lie.
I refuse to believe you. Anyway, so her name's Takara Gushiken, and she was born into the Naruto world, and I mean she sort of replaces Sakura in some ways, but Sakura is still an influential character who does her own stuff. It's just that she's not in the squad anymore. First 8 chapters are establishing her family and where she is in the world. It's just the idea that if you got teleported into the Naruto world, born into the Naruto world actually as a reincarnation, she knows technically what to do to keep everyone alive. It's just that she doesn't really understand why she knows. She's constantly struggling with her instinct to, say, kill Kabuto because she knows he's a really bad guy, but she's like, I can't do that. I go to prison. You know?
And then if someone pulls the same bullshit now, congratulations, you're 21, you're halfway to 42. I'm like, stop it.
Nothing happens after 21. That's really fun.
I know, it's basically like, okay, yes, license, yes, alcohol, 22. Time for the sweet, sweet embrace of death. I think that's like a meme out there online. It's just like da 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 da. Like, great.
You just keep on going.
Now just plod along for the next 60 years
Natalie,
until we're no
you gotta
longer
get
usable.
married. You gotta get married.
Well, don't even start me with the married stuff. Oh my God.
You probably at least have a boyfriend by this point. Me going, what? Huh?
By the time you get a boyfriend around this age, you're like, when's the wedding? And then if a wedding ever happens, like, and the kids and it's everybody pushing you along. You're like, what the fuck? Let me breathe.
Same.
Oh yeah, my nephews are like, so when are you gonna have a kid? And I'm like,
never. After watching you two, never.
Bella, how are you muddy? I bathed you this morning. This bitch.
Mom?
Not.
My mom left a case of Dr. Pepper in the car because we run completely off of Dr. Pepper in this household. And
I love it.
She slammed on the brakes too hard and some of them exploded the back.
Oh no.
That's terrible.
And we were like, no! 3 of them are gone. How are we supposed to run?
I'm still trying to figure out where the hell they're selling, because Coke makes a drink now that is coffee and Coke infused together.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's the Coke Energy one.
Yeah, where do you get that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I've been looking for it in like Target and Valley and all these food stores. I'm like, where is it?
Girl.
Michelle might know this, but here's my secret for surviving finals on like 0 sleep. The longest I've gone without sleep is something like, it was 38 hours, I think.
Oh, fuck that shit. I can't
sleep.
even do 24.
You're disgusting.
Yeah, I was dead. I was literally hearing sounds at the end of that. I'm like, bruh.
Me every day.
I think I was like mildly hallucinating, but it's engineering finals week, so whatever. I can hear colors and see sounds. Everything's fine. I've always had a Keurig either in the dorm or in the apartment, just so I could have coffee on hand. Quick coffee. I dumped Red Bull where the water would go, and had that run through. So I had Red Bull plus 2 times coffee pods.
You were disgusting.
Oh, yeah, I just scaled it and cleaned it out, and everything's good. But it was disgusting. But it kept me wired enough, and I'm severely caffeine dependent. I swear, I can have like 12 cups and it does nothing. But I drank enough of it. I was able to make it the 38 hours. I literally brought a picture of it with me to class. I'm like, can I have this here, please?
Just a little straw hanging out.
I literally told the TA overseeing it. I'm like, bitch, I have not slept in 30 hours. I need this. Let me have it. Yeah, seriously.
Like, hey, if you want to try it, you can go ahead. Can't say you won't die, but that's at your own risk.
Exactly. And the TA was like, oh my God, you should have just overslept. I'm just like, no. It'll be nice having finals online again. That's a lot less stressful. At least it was for me. But online it's a lot more spaced. So I'm glad they're doing that.
I like taking naps during class. My laptop will be on the bed or on the desk, and then I'll be on my bed.
Nervous to like take naps during class. It's just like I need to actually know. Like I have to try to retain the information. I usually have to like do class twice. Like I'll take notes like extensively and like I'll still focus, but then at home I have to like reteach myself again.
Michelle, remember that time I just left class because I was so tired?
Oh yeah, Natalie just left class because she was too tired to do anything.
I was like, look, I haven't slept in like 24 hours and I'm hurt. And he was like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm like, let me leave. I promise to do the homework. And he was like, okay. And then I just left.
Okay, so if you want to go ahead and pull up I don't know how this is going to work.
I just read the first section of that fanfic.
Did you?
And then it got to the cat part, right? To the ending of that one. And I threw my phone down and I went like, whoa.
Oh no.
So,
I won't say anything.
Okay, so yeah, the Not So Tall Tale of Michael Malloy, basically it sounds like a tall tale, but like there is a whole bunch of evidence saying that this is true, like this actually happened. And honestly, this guy is my hero. Michael Malloy, he lived during the Prohibition era, and this is kind of where it takes place, like just after it's like still trying to like come off, and speakeasies are kind of still around and stuff like that. Okay, so who is Mike? So Michael Malloy, born you guys can read 1973, died in February 22nd in 1933. We don't know when he was born. He was an Irish immigrant. He had, as far as everybody knew, he had no family. He had no relatives. He doesn't even know what year he was born. He doesn't know how he exactly got to America either. But he was definitely, for sure, an Irish immigrant living in New York City during the 1920s and 30s. So this story is about Mike, but first I'm going to tell you who the main roles are going to be playing, because he does play a big part, but there's some other character pieces in this story. So we have Troy Marino. I'm going to be mispronouncing these names because I'm not really good at pronunciations. He's the owner of the bar, the Speakeasy. He's the one who kind of he's kind of pulling the strings just because he has a set location, but his buddy in crime is actually the third one down, Pasqua. He is an undertaker by trade. He knows a lot of sneaky people. He is like the one guy who's like shady business is literally in his like job description. And then Joseph Red Murphy, he's just kind of like he's like a side character. He kind of helps out. He's just like another Goonie, I guess you can say. Hershey Green, he does play bigger parts at the end. And then Daniel Reichsberg, he's also like kind of just like a little goon, kind of exactly like Murphy, like where he's kind of like a background character, but he's like the least shown. Like Green and Reichsberg, like they're not really in too much into the story, but they do play a part. Craigsburg more than Green though. Pasqua and Marino play the main character. So I'm just gonna kind of nitpick off of this article. Sorry that if my reading is really bad, but I will try to fill in with my own knowledge because I do know this story pretty well. But the thing is, like, I'm not very literate. Where is my charger? Where'd my whale go? I have this little whale for my charger so it doesn't like bend the thing.
Oh my god, I have a shark. Hold on.
Like does it go onto like the little wire?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Michelle got it.
I need one of those because that's where my wires always freaking break. I think I gotta write down that those exist.
Chomp.
I'm at Walmart on clearance. Sorry, I get distracted.
Fish are friends, not food.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start with the article. The plot was conceived over a round of drinks. One afternoon, July 1932, Francis Pasqua, Daniel Kingsburg, and Tony Marino sat in Marino's speakeasy and raised their glasses, sealing their complicity, figuring out the job was already half finished. So basically, Francis, he already did this before. They'll find homeless people on the streets who nobody cares about. They have no family relatives. No one's going to go looking for them or questioning how they died or anything like that. They make them take out life insurances. They get another person to be like, oh, that's my aunt or that's my uncle. Like, basically, I'm their relative. And so basically what they'll do is they'll like kill these homeless people like in ways that like Undertaker would be like, oh, this person died of pneumonia. And then they end up getting the money from the insurance companies. So they've done this with another lady where Pasqua was able to sign a $2,000 life insurance, which is about equivalent to like maybe like 30,000, no, little less, 20,000 now. Basically, he had doused her in cold, like he got her shit-faced drunk. He had stripped her of her clothes, doused her in cold water, and wet her bed sheets and like left her out like in like the cold, like with her window up. And since she was like shit-faced drunk, she didn't even realize. So she legit died of pneumonia. But that's obviously like not an accidental, like left out in the cold, like fell asleep on the sidewalk kind of thing. Like she was purposely given pneumonia. And so right now they see Michael. So how difficult could it be to push Michael Malloy to drink himself to death? Every morning, the old man showed up at Marino's place in the Bronx, requested another morning, if you don't mind, in his muggle bar. He would spend hours passed out on the floor. This guy was a regular at Marino's bar, and the thing is, like, he never paid his tab. He literally would always be drinking on credit. He had basically racked up this like huge kind of debt in a way, but no one really touches upon that too much. But either way, Pasqua, 24, undertaker by trade. he sees that Michael's like, yo, this guy isn't fully there. He's probably a perfect target. He had no friends. He had no definite like date of birth. He had no like certain job. Like literally he would rather be paid in alcohol than money. Like that's how he is. That's how he's portrayed to everybody. And so they decide like, why don't we take out insurance off of like Malloy? Like why don't we have somebody go ahead and like pretend to be like Malloy's like nephew or something. And so Pasqua, he's already had this hand in business, like he's done it once before, like it should be able to work. It's not that hard, legit. Like if you can do it once, you can do it again. And so they come up with this plan. This is mostly Marino and Pasqua. Pasqua is like he has full fingers in this. Marino's the one like he's providing the booze, providing everything. So Pasqua has a legwork, and so he gets an acquaintance to call himself Nicholas Malloy. Is like, oh, I'm Malloy's basically like distant nephew or whatever it is. And so they were able to take out like through shady business, basically they were able to take out $3,576, which in today's money is $54,000. If he died on accident, then that's who it is. Is this on?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, great, because my headphones just died, and so I'm going off of my phone. Sorry if I sound different. So basically, these four guys, we have Krigsberg, we have Murphy, we have Pasqua on the bottom left corner, and then Mariana on the other bottom right corner. Everybody in town basically catches wind these guys are trying to kill Malloy, but nobody does anything because, nobody gives two shits. To Malloy's, this guy's the light that Tony grants him an open-ended tab, saying like it's a competition from other saloons, like there's no rules, you just gotta drink your face off, man. No sooner did Malloy like start downing shots like crazy. Like he has always been a hard drinker. Everybody knows him as a heavy drinker. My God, he's Irish. It's in his blood. Legit, he's like drinking one after the other, and then he's like all drunk, and like that first time they try, he's fine. 24 hours, like he's back again. He's like ready to drink once more. Like he was fine the first day. They were like, dude, you basically almost like drank us out. So they try again the next day. So this happens for the next 3 days where they're just like feeding this guy alcohol. Now, the thing with the alcohol back then, you have to remember, is that it wasn't pure, right? Pretty pure. Like there's the FDA and stuff like that. That's kind of like maintaining like everything is like good quality. Back then, they would put antifreeze, legit antifreeze, into their alcohol drink mixes because to make it like last, and it was killing people like crazy. Every single one of Malloy's drinks is tainted. You keep reading more and more, you realize they're tainting it more and more, and Malloy legit is just taking shots and full-on glasses of antifreeze, not like without a problem. This guy has no issue with it. Like they hope that maybe like Malloy would choke on his vomit or like fall or like slam his head or something like that. By the fourth day, they're like when he comes stumbling back into the bar, like boy, like saying like, ain't I got a thirst. They're like, holy shit, fuck. They're starting to think of different other ways to kill Malloy. And then that's when they start giving him more wood alcohol again, another contaminated alcohol, which is basically, it can cause blindness. It's just like antifreeze. I'm pretty sure the words are interchangeable, but like that is a big thing about this. This antifreeze can give you blindness. It can kill you. Malloy's not affected whatsoever. They keep serving him shots of tainted wood alcohol, and this guy, and like just straight up glasses of just pure alcohol, and this guy is downing it, no problem. And they're like, what the fuck? Okay, let's see like what else we can do. He would keep drinking. He would keep coming back for more. That's the thing. That's the craziest part. Every night that he finished and he was like, yep, I'm done for the day, and he would leave home, he would always come back for for more, for the same exact stuff. He would come back for wood alcohol, for antifreeze. I can't. He's my hero. He legit would drink them as fast as like there was like as they were giving him. So like at one point they're just giving him the bottle out of the shot. Like every time he downs a shot, they fill him up right away, and he keeps just taking shots, and then he crumbles to the floor without a warning one day. The whole area, like the gang falls silent because they're like, oh my gosh, did we actually do it? Like are we done? Are we done? So they wait for him. They wait to see, like they check his neck for a pulse. They're like checking his breath. They're like seeing his heartbeat. They decide to watch him, and then after a while there's a long jagged breath. Malloy began to snore.
Oh my god.
So legit, he just passes out, falls asleep.
no problem. And then he wakes up a little while later, rubs his eyes, and he's like, give me some of that good regular Malad. He's ready for more. Just give you kind of an idea of what Marino's bar looks like. That's it right there. Not the nicest place. It's becoming co-productive at this point, just to kill Malloy. Like, his tab on the bar, it's costing them more than what it's worth to get the insurance money. Like, he's drinking so much, so many cans of wood alcohol, so much, like, just everything, every cost just piling and piling and piling up. And they're like, at this point, they just want to kill Malloy just because he's so hard to kill. Like, it's frustrating them. That's when Pasqua has another idea. Like, Malloy had been well known to, like, love seafood. And so they're like, why not drop some oysters in denatured alcohol, let them soak for a few days, and then serve them to Malloy. And then they're like, alcohol taken during, like, with alcohol, like, soaked oysters with, like, tainted alcohol as well. It'll cause, like, probably an acute digestion, and, like, oysters tend to preserve them. And then they were basically serving oysters, like, these oysters, because he loves seafood. Malloy ate them one by one, savoring each bite, and washed them down with wood alcohol. Marino, Pasqua, and the rest played, and they waited. And Malloy, like, merely licked his lips and, like, his fingers, and then belched, like he basically threw up. But then, like, he was, like, fine, and, like, he was ready to eat more, ready for, like, more. And so that plan failed. Murphy tried next. He let a tin of sardines rot for several days, mixed in some sharpnel, which is also, like, a chemical mix, slathered with the concoction between two pieces of bread to serve Malloy as a sandwich. So it's anchovies basically doused in this, like, also tainted alcohol, like, basically just chemicals. And then with pieces of nails that you use for carpentry on mattresses, they put it into, like, pieces of metal into his sandwich.
What the fuck?
And yeah, and they serve it to Malloy, and they thought, like, oh my god, this is definitely gonna, like, just slash through his organs, and it's gonna kill him up inside. So instead, Malloy finished his tin sandwich and then asked for another.
Oh my God.
I love this man. He's just like, yeah, I don't care. Like, that's all me. Like, yes, I want it all.
Eat the metal.
Oh yeah, I love
And
it.
the thing is, like, just, like, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but one shot of wood alcohol, basically antifreeze, like, just taking one shot, you're most likely to become blind within, like, the next 3 days. Like, you have, like, a 25% increase every time you do it. Don't quote me on that statistics, but I know it's, like, it just takes this much, like, so little, just to, like, fuck you over so much.
Oh.
And so basically they all gather. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy is legit not dying. And at this point, he's becoming, like, he has a reputation. Everybody knows that these, like, guys are trying to kill Malloy, and that he's basically the Rasputin of the Bronx. Like, that's what they're starting to call him. They're trying to call him the Iron Mike. Say, like, this guy is indestructible. What they end up doing is they decide, like, okay, alcohol isn't working. What else can we do? So they decide to do the same thing that Pasqua had done to his previous murder, I guess, and they got him shit-faced drunk. They lay him down on some ice, basically on a park bench, but they strip off his shirt, dump bottles of water on his chest and head. Malloy, he's out drunk. He doesn't even fucking notice. Like, this doesn't faze him. So they think, like, okay, this has to kill him. Like, it's freezing outside. Somehow, Malloy had trekked the half-mile back and persuaded Murphy him back into the speakeasy. And said when he came to, he complained of a wee chill.
Oh my gosh.
This Irishman is indestructible. And there's so many, like, other things that they try to do, but I'm just going to skip ahead to where Henry Green comes in. So basically they're like, okay, let's try this then. So they hire a cab driver. This is Green. Also would get, like, a cut of the insurance money, just $150. Honestly, I'm just like, really, you would kill somebody for that much? Like, that's despicable. But anyway, they all pile into Green's cab. A drunken Malloy, like, he's just strewn on their feet. They drive a couple blocks. They, like, drag him out onto the road. They hold him up, like, try to, like, get him into position. And then Green just basically guns for it. Okay, so yeah, at the last minute, basically, like, something distracts him because this lady, like, turns on her light in, like, the room, like, across the street, And then Malloy just manages to leap out of the way, not once but twice, because he had tried again. And then on the third attempt, Green raced towards Malloy at 50 miles per hour. The car hits Malloy, 2 thuds, one loud, one soft. The body banged against the hood and then dropped to the ground. For good measure, Green backed up over him. The gang was confident. They're confident Malloy was dead, but a passing car scared them from the scene before they could confirm. So they couldn't check to basically see if he was actually finally fucking dead. They're like, okay, well, we don't know what happened to him. We can't find him anymore, so he has to be dead. So that's when the guy who they're like, oh, I'm Malloy's brother, the fake guy. They're calling around hospitals to see if they can find him, to see if there is any sign of him in the hospitals and stuff like that. But at the door of Marino's place, 5 days later, swung open, limped, and battered, bandaged Malloy comes in looking only slightly worse than usual. His greetings literally were, "I'm dying for a drink." Now, at this point, so many more people in the neighborhood are basically finding out, because this takes 7 months.
Oh my God.
But here we go. On February 21st, 1933, 7 months later, but after they planned this entire murder thing that was supposed to be quick, easy cash and stuff like that, Michael Malloy finally died in Tenement near 168th Street, less than a half mile from Marino's Speakeasy. A rubber tube ran from the gas light fixture to his mouth. They literally fed him carbon monoxide. Paper towel was wrapped tightly around his face. And then they had a doctor friend. Obviously, they had to have some inside help. They had a doctor friend who was like, okay, we'll write up this phony death certificate, this lobar pneumonia. That's how he died, blah, blah, blah. They only received $800 from the insurance company. If you remember before, it was $3,000 something. And so they're like, well, where's the rest of the money? But they don't really care about it. The fact that they finally get them some money is enough that Murphy and Marino each spend their share on a new suit. And so that's when the policy agents from the insurance company, the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, comes back and it's like, yo, can I see the body? Pascal's like, no, sorry, he's already buried. Too late. And then that's when an investigation began, and police they find out because rumors are everywhere that yo, this murder squad, all of them are we're trying to kill Malloy. These are the headlines. Pasqua, Marino, Kreisberg, and Murphy are tried and convicted of first-degree murder. Yeah, I know Pasqua was also electrical chair. Marino was electrical chair. I think Murphy too was electrical chair. I think Kreisberg was the only one who got off with just life in prison. But they all died first try. It didn't even take them as many tries as it did to kill Malloy. And I just have to think that he's up there being yeah, in your fucking faces, bitches.
Oh yeah.
And that's the story of Michael Malloy.
I love it.
I probably wasn't the best at describing the story or telling it even, but I love that story.
So no, that was a trip. That was amazing.
What the fuck?
Honestly, it's like a cat having 9 lives, but in his case, more like 900.
Legit. And the only thing was, I wish I was more detailed on my report, but legit, I could spend an entire hour just talking about how this guy literally, he's known as Durable Malloy, the Iron Mike, the Rasputin of the Bronx. He's just insane. He's my hero. Legit.
Oh yeah.
It's sad that he dies in the end, but the amount of trouble he made these guys go through, it, in my opinion, he got his justice done in a way.
So good.
Yeah, that was a great story. We should do this again soon. I found it to be a good experience, and who the hell knows what's going on. We're gonna probably have to present online like this a lot more this semester.
This is
I
practice.
have a lot more opinions about characters, so I can do this a lot more times.
Oh my god, I'll do it on a fanfic I want to read.
I like it.
I feel we've already covered genre set. Michelle's into fanfic, and then Natalie will discuss all the anime, the cartoons and stuff, and then Alex is the only one, the one with logical yo, the earth. Like your like actual like real life shit, man. I just like murder stories and ghost stories.
Oh no, that was a great one. All right, I'm gonna dip, but definitely keep this group alive. We can do this again soon. I'm also down to Eleny, if you want a road trip with Michelle out to Zombie Burger. That's worth
Let's
it.
go to Zombie Burger.
Let's do
Michelle,
it.
you would love it.
All right.
Oh yeah,
As
let's
long
put
as
that
I
on
don't
the
drive.
radar. You're good.
Yes.
I'll see you guys. Sorry to cut off so quickly,
Bye.
but bye-bye.
Bye, Ellen.
That was so
Michelle,
good.
you're like basically dying. I can see you laying in the third. I wouldn't be surprised if you fell asleep.
I'm so comfy.
I have to pee so bad. I wanted to finish the story and it was so good, but I have to pee.
I'm so sorry it took so long. I'm really bad at like keeping things short.
Wait, what
I
was
just-
this? Where did you hear from this? What podcast is this?
Oh, and that's why we drink. So I love this podcast. I think you would like them too. So it has it's a two-person podcast. Christine Schieffer and M. Schultz. Christine is a girl. M is a they. M does everything with paranormal, and then Christine, her half of the podcast is everything like true crime.
Is this
So it's
on
like
Spotify?
all like actual murders. Yeah, and this is one Christine covered like episode 9. They became such a popular podcast within the first 9 months. I was surprised I haven't heard of them earlier. They basically, you watch their friendship grow. You have to see it from the beginning. You can't just start wherever you want. You're not going to understand something. Like you have to see it from the first episode, because they don't even know each other as friends when they first start this podcast. You see their friendship develop as this podcast goes on, and it's just so nice and so beautiful to see, because it legit feels like you're a part of that friendship. But anyway, Christine literally in the beginning, like she used to work for a private investigator company, and so like it was her job to like kind of like look for true crime, I guess. And then she also did like Nickelodeon stuff. She used to be an actual ghost hunter. Like that was her legit profession, and she was paid for it. And so she covers all the ghost stuff, anything with conspiracy theories, any like alien UFOs. Like she does all the other like paranormal shit. Yeah, and like everything's like fucked up in the world. Like that's why we drink. They're basically talking about like stories like this person killed this many people, and that's why we drink. The world's fucked up. That's why I drink. M doesn't drink alcohol. She drinks milkshakes, and then Christine likes to drink actual wine. Like she's an alcoholic, not an alcoholic. Sorry, I didn't mean to put it in that way. But she drinks alcoholic beverages, and so like it can play for either like type of person in this world. It's so good. Like I love it.
I need to listen. That was so good.
I really want you to read Yuts though. Yuts. Like there's a whole fan base around them. Obviously not as big as like the anime itself, but just as dedicated.
I'm gonna read that fan fiction tonight. Natalie, did I send it to you? Oh no, you have it written down.
Yeah, I got it up. Don't worry.
Just gonna be messaging the group chat like, what the fuck?
I feel like me and Courtney are gonna be so lost. Why you're sending these things? Like, what the heck is that? Because like, just enjoy like being in the presence of others is really nice.
Enjoy being in my presence. Eleny, I have to pitch you something.
Okay.
You like ASMR?